Hi everyone, my name is Ravi Krishna Jamiola and welcome to my channel Ravi Tech Talks. Please do like and subscribe to get notifications. Let us go ahead with our course Microsoft Azure IoT. Today we'll be looking at Azure IoT device messaging and communication section. So we will look at what are the SDKs provided by Azure itself for building message solutions. We will look at device to cloud communication and cloud to device communication. And in the next video, we'll be looking at how to configure Azure IoT Hub for file upload. The Azure IoT SDKs are multi-platform and have support for multiple languages, including .NET, Java, Node, and C. Further, these SDKs are open source, and Microsoft are actively accepting contributions from the community to improve these platforms. Using the SDK will also be a best security practice for your code, given access to everything from TPM X509 attestation and SAS token authentication. Finally, the SDKs have a long-term support of 12 months or more, so it is guaranteed to be stable. Microsoft provides a set of different SDKs depending on your use case. So the primary SDKs we will be looking at in this course is Azure IoT Hub Device SDK. So this SDK is designed to use for sending messages from IoT device to the cloud, and also for receiving messages from the cloud on the device. Okay. And nextly, we have IoT Hub Service SDK. So this SDK allows us to perform the tasks what we do on Azure portal using any backend application. So suppose to say if you want to manage the device from any of your web application or any of your backend code, so using this SDK you will be able to perform tasks like managing your IoT hub, including invoking direct methods and scheduling jobs and so on. And we also have SDK for device provisioning as well as for managing provisioning services. We will look at those two provisioning SDKs at a later point in the course. So coming to the Azure IoT Hub SDK, we can use it to send messages from device to cloud, as well as receive messages which are sent from cloud on our device. We can receive twin updates. We have already seen that how we can manage device twin and how we can do reported properties and desired properties, and as well as we can invoke direct methods. So these are the methods which are already there on the device itself. So using the cloud portal or from the cloud, we can directly invoke these methods which are there on the device. And the SDK supports different protocols like MQTT, AMQP, and HTTP. We will look at the significance of each protocol at a later point. So coming to device to cloud messages, so the IoT device needs to be registered first with the IoT hub to communicate. So without registering a device, you will not be able to connect with the Azure IoT hub. Okay, and when you are sending messages from the device, you can send it in a binary format, as well as you can send it in JSON and Apache Avro formats. So these messages mainly have three sections. One is the system property. Okay, so the system property contains properties such as message ID, device ID, and their chosen authentication method, whether it is a SAS or X509 or a TPM like that. And the next one is the application properties. So these are the properties which are defined by the application. For instance, whether a temperature reading from a sensor should be considered critical, or whether an alarm should be triggered, or these application properties are sent as a plain JSON, and it can be used to read, the IoT hub can read these application properties and can do the routing, can do the message routing since it is just a JSON. And finally, we have the message body. Okay, this contains the main content of the message, what we are trying to send to the Azure IoT hub from the device level. So here we are again free to send any binary data. However, it is better to send a JSON data so that it is readable. And if human readability is not a concern, you can even send Apache Avro format. If you Google for Azure IoT Hub device SDK, you can find these links where you can find a GitHub location. I'll be pasting this location in the description of the video. So you can see, you can get all the sample codes for different languages on how to use IoT SDK. So we are using a .NET version of the SDK. Okay, so if you go to if you open the C# one, as I said, you can see the provisioning, TPM, shared, and everything. So we are going to IoT Hub, and here we are seeing at device SDK. So in the device SDK, you can see these are all the samples what we have. Okay, so you'll get all the source code here. Okay, so any device basically which has which can support the Azure IoT Hub SDK, so we can write our own program and we can deploy it on the device. So not many devices can support it. So for the Azure IoT Hub SDK to support it, need to have some memory, and basically Raspberry Pis and Adreno and some of other boards also, they do support, they do have a memory and processing, so that we can deploy. They do provide support for Azure IoT Hub SDK. So if any device which has Azure IoT Hub support, Hub SDK support, so then we will be able to write our own IoT device programs, and we will be able to deploy it on the device level. Okay, so what I have done is here is like I have created a program. Okay, so what I'm doing here is like I'm taking the connection string for the device. Okay, after taking the connection string for the device, I have created an I'm initiating it, and I'm actually sending messages from the device to the cloud. So this program is going to be something what will be deployed on an actual device. So here, since we don't have an actual device, I have created a console program where it is configured with the device identity, that is the device connection string, and it will be sending messages to the cloud. Okay, so the messages what we are going to get on the cloud level, we will be able to see using the Azure IoT Hub Explorer, or you can use an Cloud Shell which is already provided to us in the Azure portal. Okay, so you can either use the Azure IoT Hub Explorer, or you can go with the Cloud Shell. Okay, so just let me run this program. Okay, so it is asking us for our device connection string. So I have pasted the device connection string what I have copied. Okay, so if you look at the device connection string, it basically has the host name, that is the URL, along with Azure devices.net. So this is what it will help in identifying or locating our device. This is the host name to which the device will communicate it to. It is taking device ID, shared access token, which is used for authentication. So now it is connected to the hub, and if we enter any message, it will come to our Azure IoT Hub. So to monitor the messages which are coming to our Azure IoT Hub, go to the Azure IoT Explorer, click Add Connections, and here you need to give the connection string of the IoT Hub, not the device. So to get the connection string of the IoT Hub, you can go to the shared access policy, go with IoT Hub owner, copy the primary connection string, paste it here, save. Okay, so here I am able to see the device. Okay, so here if I say start, it will start monitoring for any events it is going to receive. Okay, so here I'm going to just type in hello from device. Okay, yes, so here I'm getting the message, but the problem is like since it is in binary format, we need to convert this message. Okay, so the message whatever we are getting, it is in binary format, so this need to be converted. Okay, so let us look at sending a JSON. I'll say key, then I will say value. Okay, so here you're since if we are sending directly the text, it will be converted into binary format, so we need to convert it back ourselves. So if you are sending JSON, you can see that it is coming, the JSON object is coming correctly. Okay, so let me just show you the same thing with the Azure portal using the Cloud Shell. Switch to PowerShell, confirm. Okay, now let us say AZ IoT Hub. So to monitor the events, monitor the messages basically which is coming in, the events and the messages, you use this monitor command. Monitor events -n az. You need to basically copy this IoT hub name. Okay. Say yes. Okay, as now you are able to see that event is getting monitored. Okay, let me just say hello. Yeah, so here that conversion is happening, but here in the Azure IoT Explorer, it is showing in binary format if we are directly sending the text, but it is working for the JSON format. Okay. You can see hello. Now let me send a JSON like previously. Let us say key can be the temperature and the value like that. Okay. So here you can see that there are backslashes and everything. So if you want to accept monitor for the JSON messages, you can say hyphen content hyphen type, and you can set as application slash JSON, so that see this, now it is coming in JSON without those encodings. So it doesn't treat it as a binary format, it treats it as an JSON format. And if you here you are only able to see the payload and you are not able to see the system properties and the application properties, right? So if you want to see all the system properties or the application properties, you just need to do hyphen props all. Okay. Here I'm just entering the JSON again. So as I said previously, the message will have 3 segments in it, right? So you can see origin module interface. Here you can see application, so it's a button event. So here you can see the device ID. So these are all system properties. So this is the application property, and this is our message payload. Okay, so this is our message body basically. Okay, so this is our messages being sent from device to IoT hub. Now let us see a demo on how do we send messages from cloud to the device. Okay, let me switch back to the presentation. So from cloud to device messaging, we can directly do send messages in binary format, or we have direct methods. So direct methods are nothing but methods or functions which are written in our Azure IoT using our Azure IoT Hub SDK. and those methods are available for us on the device level, and you can call those methods directly from the cloud. Okay, so why do we do that? If we want to take some instant action on the device, or if you want to trigger something on the device level, or if you want to pull data on the live from the device at that point in time, if you want to let us say retrieve any status or anything, so in that case you will directly call that method on demand and you will get that data back. Okay, and the twin updates we have already seen in our previous videos, how we interact with the digital twins and how do we set and get desired properties and report properties and what are the importance and everything. And we can even call jobs and all. We will see about the IoT Hub jobs at a later point in time. I will make a different video on it. So coming to the cloud to device messages, so you might ask what are the when do we use messages and what are the major differences between using messages and direct methods. So message is like more of like a one way notification where you are just sending the message to the device, and let us say the device is offline, so then that message will get hold up at the Azure IoT Hub level, and whenever the device is online the IoT Hub will send that message. So basically, you will just receive a confirmation that a message has been sent. You won't receive any result from that message. So it is just like you sent a message, and whether that message is received, you will just get a confirmation that message has been received by it. So you will not get any result or anything. So that message might get delivered at a later point if the device is offline. So that will get retained on the Azure IoT Hub level, and this message sending is a per device. You cannot send messages to multiple devices. You can send messages per device. But whereas when it comes to direct methods, any important operations, as I said, if you want to raise an alarm, if you want to check the status on demand and on live, so you'll trigger the direct method and the direct method will respond back to you. So that's where you are getting contextual response. So it is like you are waiting for for the direct method to process and give you back an result which is meaningful, like what is the status of a particular equipment or anything like that. Okay, rather than just saying that it received the message. Okay, and this can be single device or it can be multiple devices by configuring with IoT Hub jobs. Okay, let us say if the device is offline, it will only trigger the direct methods for the devices which are online, and this is not retained at the IoT Hub level. So let us say there are 10 devices. If two devices are offline, only 8 devices direct methods will get triggered. The rest of the two devices, when they come online at a later point also, they won't get triggered because it doesn't retain anything at the IoT Hub level. Okay, so whatever devices are online, only those devices will get triggered. Okay, now let us see a demo on cloud to device messages. Let me switch to the Azure portal. Okay, in the Azure portal you can go to IoT devices. You can go to the device. So here you can see message to device. So you can either use this portal or you can even use this Azure IoT Explorer to send cloud to device messages or to trigger direct methods. Okay, or you can use this portal to send messages to device or to trigger direct methods. I think I forgot to mention the SDK use package what we use for the device Azure device SDK is microsoft.azure.devices.client. So this is the package what we add, and that's the package what we refer basically. So using that package, we create a client, and we will be able to receive the messages from the device as well as we will be able to send the messages as well. Okay. So we have already seen how we send messages from device to cloud. So here what I have done in the sample project is like using the SDK, I have created a listener. So whatever messages we are able to send from the device from here, So the IoT Hub, Azure IoT Hub SDK, what we use, the package, I believe I forgot to mention, it is Microsoft.azure.device client. So that is the package, is device SDK. So that's what we refer, and we will be able to send messages as well as receive messages. So I have already shown you how we communicate from device to cloud. So now using the same SDK, I have created a client, and I have created a listener. So when we are sending messages from the Azure portal, on the device level, we will be able to read those messages. So what I have done is I have created one method where it can receive messages from the cloud. So whatever messages I am going to send from Azure portal, so it is going to show us in this console application. And I have created one direct method, that is perform update. So whatever data I'm going to send to it, it is just going to take that data and it is going to give us a response saying that it is okay. So let us see a demo of this. So it uses the same application. Okay, message to device. Once we go to message to device, I am going to say hello from cloud. And these are the properties. If you want to set, let me just set temp, and let me set a value of 50. Okay, add property. Okay. I'm just saying send message. So see, on the device you got a message content as hello from the cloud, and your message properties are key is equal to temperature and value equal to 50. Okay, and similarly, let me just go back and direct method. So here you can see that I have previously created a direct method perform update. I'm just copying the direct method name. Yeah, I'm just pasting the direct method name here. So whatever direct methods are there on your device, you can and paste it here to call. I'm just saying going to say like temp is 50. Third timeout is after the method is triggered, how much time it need to wait for the response to be given back to us. So whatever the direct method which is there on the device, it is returning back to us. You will be able to see it in this. So I'm invoking the direct method which is there on the device level. See, you can see that status is 200 and payload response is okay. So it received that message. See here you can see on the device level. So it has received IoT invoked the perform update method. So the payload is temperature 50, what we sent, and then it responded back. Okay. So I hope you had a good understanding of device to cloud and cloud to device communication using Azure Device SDK. Okay. So in the next video, we will see how do we configure Azure IoT Hub to support file upload. So that is uploading files from the device to Azure IoT Hub Cloud. Okay, we will look at it in the next video. Please let me know if you have any feedback, and if you have any questions, please comment below this video. Have a nice day.